Welcome to Rajendra Tandon videos. We are continuing with Valmiki Ramayana, the events of the war against Lanka being waged by Rama, his Vanara forces. One after the other, Ravana, the king of Lanka, has been losing generals, and over the death of Vajra, Danstra and other warriors, he is beside himself with anger. Addressing his Senapati, Prahasta, who stood by his side with folded hands, he said, Akampana is knowledgeable in the use of arms. It is time that he led the chivalrous and ferocious Rakshasas into war. Akampana loves battles and has always wished me success. He is capable of vanquishing the enemy, protecting his followers, and leading the army. Akampana will certainly defeat Ram and Lakshmana along with Sugriv. He shall massacre the Vanaras for sure. Akampana, one of Ravana's famed warriors and generals, large and dark as a cloud, rode a chariot covered in gold. He thundered as a cloud, and even the Devatas failed to make him tremble out of fear. The name itself means one who does not tremble out of fear, Akampana. That is why he was named Akampana. To the Rakshasas he looked glorious like the sun. However, the omens were not good. His left eye was twitching, his face had lost its shine, and his voice faltered. The day had dawned well, but as a dry wind blew, the atmosphere turned gloomy. A fearless Akampana with shoulders as broad as those of a lion, ignoring the adverse omens, bravely moved to the battlefield. As both the sides engaged in battle, the red dust raised by the fighters covered the sky that looked fearsome. Please notice how one after the other the scene is painted in colors by Valmiki. His description of the battlefield is realistic. Several Vanara warriors such as Kumud, Nal, Maind and Dvivid displayed acts of valor and killed the Rakshasas in large numbers. This infuriated Akampana no end. He mounted a deadly attack on the Vanaras and made them flee from the field. Hanuman noticed how the Vanaras were being decimated. His presence added to the enthusiasm of the Vanara soldiers. Sighting Hanuman, Akampana sent a shower of arrows to hit him. Hanuman laughed aloud and advanced towards the Asura with a speed that shook the earth. He plucked a large rock and furiously spun it in his hands. Then with a roar he threw the missile at Akampana. Using arrows with crescent heads, the Asura cut the rock into pieces much before it could hit him. An angry Hanuman plucked a tree named Ashwa Kama and started killing the Asuras like Yamaraj. An infuriated Akampana pierced Hanuman's body with his sharp arrows, which led to blood oozing from the latter's body. Hanuman plucked another tree and struck Akampana with great force, killing him instantaneously. The Rakshasa soldiers ran away while the victorious Hanuman was received in his camp with great aplomb. Learning of Akampana's death, Ravan was crestfallen. He sent for Prahasta, who was his well-wisher and an expert in warfare. Addressing him, Ravana said, O brave man, skillful in warfare, the enemy forces are stationed next to the city. The people of Lanka are now agitated and worried for their families. I do not see anyone other than you who can handle this situation. This war can be won only by you, Kumbhakarna, Indrajit, Nikumbha, or me. Therefore, proceed immediately to the station where the Vanaras are amassed. The moment you depart, the Vanara Sena will run amok out of fear. Once the Vanaras run away, Ram and Lakshman would be rendered helpless. They will surrender to you. It is glorious to lose one's life in a battlefield. Dying without facing danger is undesirable. If you do not agree with my words, please share your thoughts on this. Listening to Ravana, Prahasta responded as if Shukracharya was advising the king Bali. He said, Rajan, earlier too in your council of the wise ministers, we had thought over this situation. On a number of issues, we had disagreed and criticized each other. It was always been my view that our well-being lies in sending Sita back to her husband. If we do not do so, war is certain, which would lead to our destructions at the hands of Rama. We face the consequences of the indecision on this issue today. However, you have honored me with bounty, prestige, and dignity from time to time. Therefore, in this hour of need, how can I not strive for your welfare? I do not care to protect my wife, progeny, wealth, or myself. I do not worry for their safety. Watch how I offer myself as Ahuti to the flames of war. Prahasta, the commander-in-chief, ordered his generals to send for the bravest of Rakshasa soldiers. He was sure that vultures would have enough meat to satisfy their appetite when the Vanaras died at his hands. He rode a chariot pulled by quality steeds, and his charioteer was in full control of the vehicle. The large Asura army looked fierce like a parade of elephants. Moving in formations, the soldiers stepped out of Lankapuri. They were greeted by inauspicious omens. A vulture landed on Prahasta's flag and sat facing south. And his charioteer repeatedly dropped his whip. The Vanara stood ready for an onslaught with trees and massive rocks. Their roar was frightening. Like a moth moving towards a flame in order to court death, writes Valmiki. Prahasta, desirous of victory, advanced towards the forces commanded by Sugriva. From a distance, Rama looked at the advancing Senapati and asked Bibhishana about the giant speedily moving forward, leading a large force. Bibhishana replied, This Rakshasa is Ravan's commander-in-chief and his name is Prahasta. He leads an army that is in numbers 1/3 of Lanka's forces. His valor is well known among Rakshasas and he is known for his skill in the use of several weapons. While the Vanaras fought with trees and rocks, the Asuras carried swords, shaktis, spears, maces, and axes to fight. Both the armies killed each other in plenty. They moved in the battlefield like a whirlpool. Mark the descriptions, one following the other. They rode like an ocean in turmoil, and the battlefield seemed like a river of blood and flesh. Sliced heads and torsos floated in plenty, and the smaller body parts and bunches of hair appeared like grasses growing everywhere. What an image! It's astonishing. The vultures sat like pelicans, and the skeletons moved like the herons and the saras birds. Meanwhile, Prahasta severely injured Neel with his arrows. Neel hit him with a large sal tree and killed the horses standing in his way. As Neel cut Prahasta's bows into pieces, the Asura Senapati got down from his chariot and ran to attack him with a club. Both of them were Senapatis of their armies and were fierce warriors too. They moved with speed to strike each other and were soaked in blood like two elephants running, streams of must on their temples. Neel and Prahasta's fight was like a battle between a lion and a tiger, both desirous of being victorious. Prahasta hit Neel's forehead with a club which led to profuse blood oozing out and trenching his body. However, Neel lifted a large rock and smashed Prahasta's head to smithereens. The Asura Senapati lay dead on the ground, and his soldiers fled like water gushing out of a breached dam. A victorious Neel joined Ram and Lakshman, who appreciated his valor. All this compelled Ravana to decide to come to the battlefield himself. We shall take it up in the next video.